do this.
Save it for the take, baby.
Plenty more where that came from. Action!
Special Agent Bruce P. Mindhorn could literally see truth.
Your mouth's saying no, but your brain's saying yes.
You can't hide the truth from Mindhorn.
Welcome to Kermode Uncut. Here's a strange thing. Loads and loads of films are shot on the Isle of Man, where I have family. But very, very few films are set on the Isle of Man. There's a film out in cinemas at the moment called Mindhorn, starring and written by Julian Barratt, and it's a sort of spoof detective thing about a guy who had a detective show in the 1980s, sort of like Barratt meets the $6 million man. It was set on the Isle of Man, and he's called back by the police because a suspected serial killer insists that he will only speak to Mindhorn, a man who can literally see the truth. And the film is shot at a number of famous locations around the island, Laxey Wheel and the Steam Packet Sea Terminal, and it's set on the Isle of Man, which is very exciting because usually when you see the Isle of Man on screen, it's pretending to be somewhere else. If you saw Waking Ned, which was quite a big hit, for example, that's set in rural Ireland. Well, it's shot in the Isle of Man with Craig Nish doing a brilliant sort of impression of the rural Irish village. There was a film a few years ago called Me and Orson Welles, which is set in 1930s New York. The theatre that they use is the Gaiety Theatre on the Douglas Prom, which is a really wonderful old theatre, has a Corsican trap, which is very rare beneath the stage. Again, that's the Isle of Man pretending to be New York. If you saw Stormbreaker, that marvellous sequence when it's meant to be in Cornwall, those are actually the beaches of the Isle of Man. If you saw Thomas and the Magic Railroad, I mean, that's set in the magical kingdom of Sodor, which is in fact inspired by the Isle of Man, so that's kind of why it's shot on the Isle of Man. But time and time again, you see the Isle of Man pretending to be somewhere else. There are some films which you think would be set on the Isle of Man. I mean, Hitchcock's The Manxman always comes up, although actually that's largely shot in Cornwall. There are other films like Chico and Rita, the animated film, which is made in the Isle of Man. You wouldn't have any idea that it was from the subject matter. Or Amorous Auntie's Belle, which is an Isle of Man production, of course not set in the Isle of Man. And I was thinking back to when the last time I could think was of a film which was set and shot in the Isle of Man. I came up with the 1935 George Formby TT comedy No Limit. In fact, that was such a big hit in the island that they put a statue of George Formby in Douglas. It's there on Ridgeway Street. You can go and see it. I mean, all my relatives said that for years and years, every summer, it was a ritual that you had to go and see No Limit. Well, now there's a statue. Will they put up a statue to Julian Barratt? Well, on past evidence, there's every suggestion that they will.
Richard.
How do I look?
Like you need some help?
Too late. I walk alone.